All right, y'all. It's May 14th, I believe. It's like a Tuesday. Mini Nats is over. I hadn't really posted a whole lot since then. We hustled, got everything done in time to go to Mini Nats. Y'all saw that trip. It was kind of a rough trip. So we got back, took a couple weeks off. It's been about 3 weeks. Just been trying to catch up on some customer stuff, some step notches and C notches and odd and end stuff that I wanted to get knocked out. It's stuff I've showed you before in the past. Didn't really feel like filming it. And we went on vacation again this past weekend. Me, KK, and Mackenzie, and Kaylee's nephew Landon went to Rockville. We met Dawson and his bunch down there. And if you don't know what Welcome to Rockville is, look it up. It's a huge concert festival. I feel like I got my ass kicked. It's Tuesday and I'm still recovering. And we went and saw a bunch of bands that we've never seen before, or I have never seen before. The highlight of the weekend, Falling in Reverse. They come out, performed. Oh, they just killed it. And I had never in my life been to something like being in the middle of a crowd when Slipknot comes on stage. That was chaotic. We had a freaking blast. But now, vacation's over. Mini Nats is gone. Rockville's gone. It's time to get back to work. I got a truck here I'm fixing to show y'all. It's a 2000 Silverado. I bought it from my buddy Charlie and his wife. I got a good deal on it. I just bought it just to fix and flip. And it's a 2000 Silverado extended cab, low mile truck. I think it's got 91,000 miles on it. It was actually Haley's, it was Charlie's wife. It was Haley's grandpa's truck. He bought it brand new in 2000. He passed away a few years ago, and it was sitting, and they were actually going to haul it off for scrap, and Charlie bought it, and he was just sitting in his yard for like 2 years. He didn't do anything with it, and he called me one day and was like, hey, I think I'm going to post this truck for sale. What you think it's worth? And I told him the price, and he said, man, I was going to post it for basically half the price I told him. I said, nah, I'll come buy it for that price. So I went and picked it up, and we'll start the video there when we start showing other film. Me and my kid went and picked it up, and the reason that it was parked is because the transmission went out. So Charlie bought it, knowing the transmission went out. It's sitting in his yard. He's moving around, cutting grass, and one day it wouldn't crank. Fuel pump went out. So he just decided he was going to get rid of it. So far, I've took the bed off, cleaned the frame up, and put a fuel pump in it, got it running. It's got a couple random misfires, and I know what it is. It's ethanol gas, man. It's terrible on these injectors. So I'm going to try to clean the injectors. If I can't get them clean, I'm just going to buy a set. But so far, I'll show you in the video. I've already serviced it, got everything fresh in it, fresh fluids and all. And we're just going to turn it into a really clean, lowered Silverado with some wheels on it. And my intention was to build it, post it on Marketplace, sell it, just make a few bucks. But luck would have it, I've already got it sold. One of my buddies was looking for a truck for his 16, 17-year-old son, and I told him kind of what I was going to do with the truck, and he was like, I want it. Don't post it for sale. I'll take it. So I've already got it sold. I just got to get my ass out here and build it. And I just want to get that vacation behind us and everything else. It's really crappy, rainy weather outside today, so we didn't work. So I'm going to take advantage of this day. It's only like 8:30 in the morning. And get out here and pound this lowering kit out. At least do the back. I'm going to build a notch for it and then put a flip kit on it. And got some drop shocks and all for it already. I've already got everything I need to build it. So we're going to get out here, see if we can pound this thing out. And I'll kind of show y'all some of the stuff that I've done to it just to make sure that's good for the next person. Also, the transmission was out. Charlie drove it home from across the county. And everything worked except reverse. Well, when we got it running, I tried to back it out, and it was kind of shuddering a little bit. So I stopped, pulled the dipstick. There was no fluid on it. So I put 3 quarts of fluid in it. Reverse works fine. So it looks like Haley's grandpa quit driving it, and all that was wrong with it was low on fluid. So I've already bought another transmission from John. I've got a spare one here in case it is bad. I'm not going to sell the truck to somebody with a bad transmission knowing that it's bad. So once we get it together and we start driving it, if it shows any kind of issues, I'll pull it out. I've got a good transmission out here to put in it. But if it's not bad, like I said, it's only got 91,000 miles on it, so we'll leave it in there. But let me quit rambling, get out here and kind of show you what I already did, show you, we'll pick it up. This may be one video, or I may split it out over several. I don't know yet. I just got to see how far the footage goes and what all we do. So I appreciate y'all listening to me ramble on there for 5 minutes, and we're gonna get started. All right, y'all. There it is. 2000, it's in the cab, Chevrolet Silverado. Been sitting here for a while. It needs a transmission and it needs a fuel pump. So all in all, the truck's pretty straight. There's a couple little spots on it, but it needs a valence, obviously. It needs to be cleaned really good. We got to get all the walls and whatnot out of it. There's a whole wad of them in the door jamb right there that we found. Oh, I almost got stung for y'all. This is all in all stock exhaust truck. Back bumper got a little rust on it, and there's a hole right here where somebody jacked off the trailer. But this was actually Haley's granddad's truck. Charlie said him and his brother went and bought matching trucks at the same time back in 2000. And his brother's was green. Yeah. So we airing up tire, got my shop air on the truck. We're gonna get this drug up on there, go get it cleaned up when we get time. And hey, come over here. So this is my boy Charlie. Me and him have been real good friends for a long time. We've done run coast to coast all over this country with him. And they just started their own YouTube venture. Tell them what y'all's name is.
Life's Too Short.
Spell that.
No, I can't spell.
It's T-O-O or T-O?
T-O-O.
Life's Too Short. They do the wildlife stuff and fishing and hunting and all that stuff, and they're gonna do a fishing channel. So he just actually posted his first video last week, and I will post a link in this description, and y'all go check them out. Give them a sub. They're trying to start this whole journey that we started, and maybe they can get there faster than me.
Probably.
So, she's so mean, ain't she?
Everybody loves Charlie.
Everybody does love Charlie. He's got that lovable face, lovable, adorable teddy bear face. Look at him.
See me naked.
They should not see you naked. All right, we're gonna get this thing loaded up, get it back to the house, and yeah. Hey, look, twins.
You're me. I look like you anyway. Y'all should hand me that. That wasn't cool.
Four valence. I made a miss. That junk shot out there like a friggin' rocket, and I missed the whole drain pan. Good job. All right, so I got some Ultima plug wires there, got the oil changed, and we put some Pennzoil high mileage 1030 in it, and it was kind of clumpy when it come out. It's been sitting for, like I say, about 6 years, so I was glad to get that old oil out, get the new oil in. Bought some AC Delco, there's your part number. This is actually what came in this truck stock, so that's what we're going back with, because we're not trying to build a race truck, we're just trying to make a really nice, clean cruiser for a kid to drive. So I'm going to do the plugs and plug wires real quick. Probably won't film that because, well, I'll probably be struggling because, well, I'm a midget and I can't hardly reach it back there. So I have my step stool out. I'll get all these changed real quick and go from there. I got the plug wires changed. As you can tell by the spark plug graveyard, this is the ones that fell out. I didn't even try to catch them. Got those changed, plug wires changed.
just put a new fuel filter in it, and I tried to set the gas that poured out of the old fuel filter on fire, and it wouldn't even burn hardly. But this gas tank was, when I put the fuel pump in, it was almost empty, so I didn't pull it out and drain it. I just put like 10 gallons of fresh gas in it, and maybe it'll be all right. So, yeah. Anyway, and I also put an air filter in it too while I had it apart. Oil filter, or yeah, that's oil filter. And then it didn't really look that bad on the inside, but yeah, coming along with the service. Time to start making.
All right, y'all. First things first is we got a flip kit for the back. Super cheap, Amazon. I think they're like $45, like legit $45. It comes with your axle purchase, or your saddles, I mean, your bottom plates, and your upper plate. I put a bunch of these on. I'm gonna forewarn you. Some of these trucks, the U-bolts are shorter than the others, so sometimes your U-bolts aren't long enough. You can go to O'Reilly's, get a longer U-bolt. You're going to have an extra $40, $45 in buying 4 U-bolts. Me, I keep all the U-bolts off of trucks when I do flip kits. Because some flip kits come with new U-bolts. And if you don't reuse the factory ones, I throw them on the shelf. Like I say, some of them are longer than others. Majority of your 2007 up trucks came with a factory 1-inch block in them. So it's got a longer U-bolt. Those work perfect. So I probably won't have to buy U-bolts, but just a forewarning, if you buy one of these cheap Amazon kits, I generally try to buy the ones that come with U-bolts. They're $10, $15 more expensive, but they always work. But this is I know I got U-bolts to work. So if it's for a customer's truck, I will buy the one with the longer U-bolts, usually. I know I got U-bolts to work on this truck because it's mine, so I bought the cheapest one, which is like $45. So I'm going to throw this on, build a C-notch, and get this thing a little closer to the dirt. I got some tires and wheels for it already. I got to go sometime today and have the new tires mounted on the wheels. I'll show you that. And, yeah, let's get in here and throw this thing in.
Like you have lost respect for me, acting up in front of all my friends. Oh no, I don't like your tone, I like the games you play. Don't like the games you play. I already know that you talk behind my back. I already know that you.
All right, y'all, so this is really not like a how-to video on how to put a flip kit on. There's plenty of those on there. I've showed them to you before, but there is one trick that I would like to show you again. So I got everything took loose, you saw that. I took the shocks off, I took the U-bolts off, and this truck it's been raining here for like 3 days. And all the dirt and stuff that's still on it is wet, and it's like mud, and it's like I'm filthy already. And I've only been out here for like 20 minutes. But you got to drop the hitch right here. So do not take the hitch completely loose. Take the 3 side bolts out of each side here. And then there's 2 bolts that go in up under the tag under the bottom of the bumper. You take all 6 of those bolts loose right here. There's, like I say, there's 3 here, 3 on that side, and then there's 2 bolts under the bumper. If you just loosen those, it'll let that hitch sag enough to get this rear shackle bolt out right here. So once you get that hitch dropped, you can get that shackle bolt out. And then whenever you get ready to put the hitch back on, you don't have to fight trying to line the hitch up and hold it up above your head and all that stuff. So you just tighten those 2 bolts back up some, and as they get tighter, it'll push the back of this back up, and just make sure your bolts go through. Once they go through, you can kind of pick up on it, start your nuts, and then once you get them all started, you can tighten them, and it's just a whole lot easier than trying to fight with it. But one thing I do want to show you is, all right, so this is an extended cab. Regular cabs and extended cabs, you can get to this front. Let me show you right here. Hang on, let me get this camera set up right here. You can get to this front bolt because of the way the gas tank is. On a crew cab, you cannot because the gas tank is right up against the backside of the bolt, and you can't get it out because you can't get your hand in there behind it. On these trucks, you can because of the way the hanger's made, but on a crew cab, they're welded on and they're just made completely different. So what I do is I drill a hole, and let me flip this thing over and I'll show you. I'll show you what I do. Hang on. So let me get this set back up. Sorry. All right, we're gonna knock this rear bolt out of the shackle right here. maybe. All right, pull that out. We're gonna break that shackle loose. All right, and this front bolt, we're gonna push it in just till the end of the bolt is inside of that hole. I'll show you right there. You see how it is? It's just inside there. All right, now we're gonna take this leaf spring, we're gonna pull it, and it's gonna go around the rear end, and we're gonna put it back up under the rear end. All right, and then we're gonna slightly twist this to where it's lined back up. We're gonna grab this welding wire. And we're gonna pull this bolt back out. It actually cut my welding wire in two, but I got lucky because it stayed hooked. I think that's the first time I've ever had that happen. But like I say, this truck I could have just reached up under there and pushed it back through, but on a crew cab you could not. 07 up, all those, you can't get to the backside of the bolt. So that's just a trick that I do. What I do is, I don't know if I told you this just then, but I just drill a hole in the end of the bolt and run a piece of welding wire through, twist it together, and then I push it in just far enough that I can move it around like I showed you, and then I grab the welding wire and just pull it right back out. It's a whole lot easier than dropping the gas tank. So maybe that'll show somebody that's about to do this to a crew cab an easier way. Like I said, I've showed them in videos before, and people was always like, man, I appreciate that, because that like helped me more than you know. It's a whole lot easier than dropping the gas tank. Once again, wasn't needed on this truck, but crew cabs, yes. Right. Another thing I want to show y'all, this is, like I said, just a cheap Amazon flip kit, but if you look, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but when the flip kit is up here to the rear end, I can get my whole finger between the axle and the flip kit, which means that these ears are too long. When you buy stuff made in China for cheap, sometimes you got to modify it. A lot of the ones that I have to do, I have to modify. Now, your Beltex, your McGahees, Max Track, those are going to be perfect out of the box. But you're going to pay 150, 200 bucks for those. Like I say, these were like 50 bucks. So, if you notice right here, I just figured out how much that this needed to come up to touch the axle. And I just trimmed that much off each side. Real simple. Just took the cutoff wheel, took about 20 seconds per side. And now when you stick this up there, it goes all the way up against the axle, fits tight. There's no slopping, it can't move side to side or front to back. So it's gonna hold the rear end where it needs to be. And that's all you gotta do to fix it. Instead of going through the whole, oh, this don't fit, and sending it back and ordering another one, just take the cutoff wheel and modify it. I had to do a ton of them. When customers supply flip kits and this is what they get, it's the fastest, easiest way for me. Because once I got it to this point to figure out that the flip kit doesn't fit, I'm not putting it back stock for free. I'm going to modify that and put it back together and send it on out of here so I can get paid. Because that's the whole object of this, is to make money. So I'm going to trim this other side and get this rear end put back together. Introduce y'all to the newest father around here. Him and our other dog May got tied up about 3 months ago, and she had puppies last night. 12. Yeah, she had 12 puppies last night. I hope you got your life right, because you fixing to be busy, bro. 12. Let me show you what else I was talking about. This is the factory U-bolt. You put your little saddle right there. Drop this down over there, and then your bottom plate, this goes over it. But as you can tell, there's just a little bit of thread sticking out the bottom of the leaf spring. So once you put that plate up there, there's not going to be any meat for the nuts to go on. So what I was saying is, these are U-bolts off like a 07 up. They're the same width as far as the squareness. They're just slightly longer. So if you can get access to a set of those, I would prefer these over parts store ones. They're thicker. The only ones you're going to be able to get at the parts store that's long enough are going to be 1/2 inch. These are like 9/16. They're a little bit thicker, a little bit tougher. So like I say, I already had U-bolts, I knew. But you going in, prepare for that. That's why I would recommend buying the one that comes with new U-bolts. A lot of these flip kits come with a round U-bolt, so you don't have this piece at all. They just go over the axle. So if these were round, they would be long enough because they would be that much lower. But, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to get this thing stuck together, show you that, and let you be prepared for that. So next, we got the flip kit on. We put notches in. I always build my own notches. They work good. I've put probably literally 1,000 of these things in. They never had any issues. I've never to this day had one come back for an issue. I always plate the top of the frame with 2x2 quarter wall, as you can see here. And then I take 4-inch wide by 6-inch long flat plate, and I build a notch. I've got a jig built so that every one of them is the exact same. And as you can see, my buddies Dylan and Stewart built that for me one day, and I've used it, I couldn't tell you how many times. So this is a 6-inch opening here, and gives you plenty of room above the axle. I've showed you these before. This is how I make the majority of my money, is putting notches in. And I always build them and install them for people, a bunch of different trucks. Some trucks take different depending on how they need to be built, but 99 to, or actually 88 to 2018 Silverados, I build notches just like this in all of them. Some of them, this bar's a little bit longer, depending on how flimsy the frames are on those trucks. Like 88, 98s are pretty flimsy. This is a 2000, so it has a lip on the back side of the frame over there that the 2001 and ups don't have, and gives me a nice spot to weld the top of the notch to on the back side. So it's welded all the way around, and like I say, the top's welded, the bottoms. The only thing that's not welded completely is the back side. I always just stitch that in 3 spots. That's the way I've always done them, and I always weld the front side. So also to note, when you do them like this, there's a bed brace up under the bed that's right here above the axle that you have to cut out. I always just take my plasma and knock it out, and that way the bed will be allowed to sit all the way down, because if you don't, the bed will be like 2 inches too high. So also that puts the bed floor sitting flat on this, so that way if you step in the middle of the bed, it's not going to sag or do anything funny, so it's still going to be braced. You can cut out just right here of the bed brace and leave the center, but when you get low, the center of the differential is going to hit that bed brace, so the best thing to do is just cut it completely out. All right, this is the wheels that I got. I just picked them up off Facebook Marketplace. They was real cheap. I paid like 300 bucks for them, and then I went and had new tires put on them. And anyway, I'm gonna try to clean them up. I've seen before where people used aluminum brightener, like White Lightning, and sprayed on them, took a brush, scrubbed them, and you clean the chrome up pretty good. So I'm gonna try that and just see if that gets them where I want them to be, or if I need to like polish at them. But they've got a bunch of chrome pilling like inside the spokes. They're not in the best shape, but they're perfect for what I'm doing. If it was a truck that I was planning on keeping, I probably would have spent a little bit more money on some wheels, and you know, bought something in a little bit better shape. But for what I'm, like I say, what I'm doing, this is perfect. And I bought new center caps for it. The center caps was kind of rough, and got new lug nuts today. I'm gonna get these things cleaned up real quick and go from there. All right, so got the new wheels kind of cleaned up. Told you earlier, I got the tires mounted today. On the rear, we went with a 265/40. The front's getting a 265/35. It's getting a little bit shorter tire. Spray painted the frame black. Got everything bolted back together. I'm gonna cut the exhaust off and put a turn down on it. I just haven't done that yet. And I also put the new rear back bumper on today. The original one had some rust and a couple dents in it. So I've scored this off of Marketplace. It's in perfect shape, and it's already got the LED tag lights installed. So the rear, minus the doing the exhaust, is pretty much wrapped up. And yeah, move on to the front tomorrow. All right, y'all, another day. Got the back done yesterday. I started on the front. Realized I wasn't recording. Figured I better give y'all an update. Got the stock spindle out of there. Got a 2-inch drop spindle here that we're gonna throw on them. It's just a used spindle. I took off somebody's truck and paid them for it. And so we're gonna go about 4 in the front. So I'm gonna take the stock coil and I'm gonna cut a little over half a round off of it. Combined with that drop spindle, it's gonna sit perfect and still ride great. And I've got a nitro dropped 8000 part number for the front, laying right here. So those are going to go on the front. I put 8510s on the back. I've been running those OE Spectrums on a lot of trucks, but I just went ahead and just ordered. You can order that and that as a set on Amazon, so I just ordered all of them. So I've got this tore apart. I'm going to get in here and wire wheel it up a little bit, clean it up, and get some of this dirt and junk out from, like I say, this truck. When Haley's grandpa got a new truck, all he ever did with this one after that was drove it from his house to his chicken houses in the field. So it's good and dirty under the bottom. So I'm gonna wire wheel it, paint it up before I put this thing back together real quick, and and I'll show you what it looks like when it's back together. All right, I got the passenger side together. I'm on the driver's side now, and I have beat the hell out of this lower ball joint, and I cannot get it to break loose. So, being that I'm changing the spindle too, I was just going to take the whole control arm off and get a scrap one or whatever from my scrap pile and find one with a good ball joint and put it in, but I can't find one. So I found this one. This was on a truck. The lower ball joint had been trimmed to clear the wheel. You know, when you do a drop spindle, you have to trim this if you're running like a 17 or 18. So anyway, but this ball joint is completely shot. So I would rather just put a ball joint in it than go buy a whole control arm. You know, the whole purpose of this was to do it cheap and quick. So I don't know if you've ever changed one of these ball joints. They suck. I hate them. You got to get this rivet out. It's a heat rivet. So basically, they put it in. It's red hot. They put it in a press, bam, and brad both sides. And you have to basically get this entire head off and drill almost the entire way through the rivet in order to knock it out. So I'm fitting to clamp this thing to the table and say a lot of bad words. I'm not gonna show y'all. I'll just I'll tell you about it when I get them all out. So these rivets are pain in the butt. I got the front two loose. What I do is I take a small drill bit. I believe that is a smaller than an 8, and I drill most of the way through the rivet. See how hot that rivet is. Anyway, I drill most of the way through it, and then I come back with this one, which is a 1/4 inch, and I run the same hole. Then I come back with this 3/8, and I run it almost, as you can tell, we're going almost to the bottom of that rivet, and I run it with a 3/8. Then I come back with a 1/2 inch and drill down to the control arm, and that gets the head of the rivet off. Let's see right here. Here's one. So this was right here. You drill down the thickness of this, and then you take the air chisel and it'll pop the head of them off. And then once you get the head of it off, then I usually go back with a 3/8 and I run them down a little farther, and then I just get a 3/8 bolt, pair of vice grips, and grab my old trusty hammer. And so, as you can tell, this one's already moving, and just send it on home. So that rivet's out. I got 2 more to do, but first I got to go get my kids. So come back and get those 2 and pick up a ball joint while I'm in town and get that guy changed out. All right, y'all, lift's empty. Give y'all a look here so far where we at. Got the 4.6 drop put on, 22-inch reps. New tires, front tires once again are 265 35s. The rears are 265 40s. And this is where we're at. I was trying to get this whole truck done in one video, but I'm already 30 minutes in, and I still got a bunch to do. So I'm gonna cut this one off here, and then we'll jump right back in on the next video and get this thing wrapped up, hopefully. But I still got to pull the chrome trim off the fenders. I already done the driver's side, but I haven't done the other 3. Got to get those done. I'm gonna pull the 1500 emblems, those off, and take the pinstripe off the side. Hello, turd. I got to do that. I'm gonna pull the bumper off. I got a new valance for it. I got a couple dents in it right here. I'm gonna try to tap out there because they're really not bad. Put that in. Still trying to find a chrome Tahoe grill. I got new headlights, and you can see here where we pulled this trim off. There's one little spot there where it's rubbed through the paint. The rest of it looks good. Like I say, clean that up. I got the 1500 emblems. Just gonna come off the pinstripe. Maybe the LS emblems. I ain't never really had good luck with getting those off without pulling paint. And got everything spray painted. Got to get the bed back over here in the shop. It's over there. I might have to have some help getting it over here so I can pick it up and put it on. New bumper's on. I think I showed you that already. The old one had a bunch of dents in it, and then if you've ever owned a truck that old man had, you know, they don't really look behind you when they back up. They just back up till they hit stuff and drive off. So, show y'all where we at now. Also, I'm going to put him some kind of muffler on here. I've got a Rumble muffler over there left over. I may use it. I may just cut it off here and put a turn down on it, and then they can go have the muffler of their choice put on it. I don't know yet. And the next biggest thing I need to do is pull the injectors out and clean those because it's still got a random misfire. And once I get those cleaned, that should be it as far as the maintenance part of it. And then I want to get it all together, drive it, put some miles on it, make sure everything's good with it. especially the transmission. Like I said, I've got a spare transmission here in the floor. I bought already for this truck because I was told the transmission was bad, and it looks like it was just low on fluid. I hope we were just that lucky, but if not, we got one sitting there waiting for it. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all checking it out. I'm gonna get here and edit this film and get this video uploaded for y'all. Tell them bye.